The city had dressed itself in reds and pinks, its streets a testament to the love celebrated across its expanse. Julia and I, hand in hand, navigated the bustling sidewalks, our hearts set on a night of romance and celebration. The restaurant we had chosen was a gem hidden within the city's heart, its reputation for intimacy and culinary excellence unparalleled. As we neared, a sense of anticipation built within me, a desire to make this night unforgettable for Julia. However, a sudden chill, out of place in the cool February air, sent a shiver down my spine. Dismissing it as pre-date jitters, I smiled down at Julia, squeezing her hand reassuringly. That's when we saw them, a couple that seemed oddly out of place. They stood too close, their eyes boring into us with an intensity that was disconcerting. The man was tall, his smile wide yet somehow devoid of warmth. The woman, clinging to his arm, regarded us with a stare that felt overly familiar, intrusive even. "Beautiful night, isn't it?" the man called out, his voice smooth, as they stepped closer. I could feel Julia tense beside me. "It is," I replied cautiously. "Can we help you with something?" "I'm Mark, and this is Linda," the man introduced, his hand outstretched, while his companion offered us a smile that seemed too practiced. "We were just admiring what a stunning couple you two make. It's rare to see such genuine affection." Linda's voice chimed in. "We're photographers, and we'd be thrilled to capture a few shots of you both. Consider it a Valentine's Day gift to yourselves." Her proposal, despite its flattering veneer, set off alarm bells in my mind. There was an eagerness in her tone that didn't sit right with me, a pushiness that seemed at odds with the casual offer of a photo shoot. Julia, ever the polite soul, offered them a hesitant smile. "That's a kind offer, but I think we'll pass. We don't want to be late for our reservation." As we turned to enter the restaurant, Mark's voice halted us. "Are you sure? It won't take long, and it's not every day you get such an opportunity." I felt Julia's grip tighten on my hand, her discomfort mirroring my own. "We're sure, but thank you," I said, my tone final, as we stepped inside the warm embrace of the restaurant, leaving the odd couple and their unnerving proposition behind. Inside, the world seemed to shift back to normal. The soft lighting and murmur of conversation enveloped us, a stark contrast to the disquieting encounter just moments before. Yet, as we settled into our seats, the shadow of unease lingered, an uninvited guest at our table. "Was it just me, or was that really weird?" Julia whispered across the table, her brow furrowed in concern. "It wasn't just you," I assured her, reaching across to take her hand. "But let's not let it ruin our night. We're here together, and that's all that matters." She nodded, a smile breaking through her apprehension. "You're right. Let's enjoy our night." The meal was exquisite, each dish a symphony of flavors that captivated our senses and momentarily swept away the remnants of our earlier discomfort. Yet, the true test of the evening awaited us beyond the restaurant's comforting confines, as we decided on a whim to visit the mini golf course across the street, unknowingly stepping closer to the heart of our Valentine's Day nightmare. The playful ambiance of the mini golf course, with its whimsical obstacles and vibrant colors, offered a temporary reprieve from the unease that had shadowed our evening. Julia's laughter, genuine and carefree, filled the air as we challenged each other at each hole, the earlier encounter slowly receding into the back of my mind. However, the fragile sense of normalcy shattered the moment I caught sight of Linda at the course's entrance, her piercing gaze unsettlingly familiar. "Julia, we have to go. Now," I whispered urgently, the fun of moments ago replaced by a cold dread. She followed my gaze, her eyes widening with recognition and fear. Without a word, we abandoned our game, weaving through the families and couples, our departure as inconspicuous as possible. The sound of following footsteps, however, signaled that our efforts were in vain. My heart raced, each beat a drum of panic as we quickened our pace, the illusion of safety dissolving with every step. As we rounded a corner into a less illuminated section of the parking lot, the reality of our situation sank in. The playful banter of the mini golf course felt worlds away, replaced by a silence that was punctuated only by our pursuers' footsteps. "Looks like you're trying to give us the slip." Mark's voice, taunting and far too close, broke the silence. I felt Julia's hand grip mine tighter, her fear palpable. I fumbled with my phone, my fingers shaking as I dialed 911. "There's a couple following us. We're at the mini golf course across from the downtown diner. Please, hurry." I managed to say, the gravity of our situation pressing down on me. As we dodged between cars, the sirens in the distance offered a glimmer of hope. Mark and Linda's voices, laced with mockery, seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, their pursuit relentless. "It's just a game," Linda called out, her tone chillingly playful. "Why don't you just stop running and let us take your picture?" The absurdity of her words, juxtaposed with the terror of the chase, felt surreal. We pressed on, desperation lending speed to our steps, until the flashing lights of police cars broke through the darkness, a beacon of safety. Officers swarmed the area, their swift intervention a stark contrast to the nightmare that had unfolded. As Mark and Linda were detained, their nonchalant demeanor in the face of authority was unnerving. Sitting in the back of an ambulance, wrapped in blankets despite the lack of physical harm, Julia and I recounted our story to the police. The officers' somber expressions as we spoke revealed the gravity of our encounter, their assurances that we were safe doing little to ease the lingering fear. "We just wanted to have a nice evening," Julia said to me, her voice breaking. "How did it come to this?" I held her close, the events of the night replaying in my mind. "I don't know, but it's over now. They can't hurt us anymore," I replied, the words as much for me as for her. The promise of a romantic Valentine's Day had been irrevocably tarnished, replaced by a story of survival against odds we'd never imagined facing. As we left the scene, the warmth of the ambulance a stark contrast to the cold outside, I couldn't help but feel a profound gratitude for our escape and a sobering awareness of the fragility of safety in a world where danger can appear in the guise of an ordinary couple on a night meant for love.